Hi everybody. How are you? You'll probably get this later. Haven't done a Bravo Living with you all in quite some time. Quite some time. It's not that I have forgotten about it or not planning on doing it anymore. Of course I do plan on doing it some more because I love doing it. I love coming before you all and being before you all and sharing with you all whatever God has given unto me. But I want to say it's 12 something, well, 12:40 on my clock. But anyway, you can come back and view this later. I just wanted to stop by and say hello. I ordered me some food somewhere. So they told me it's going to take about 20 minutes. And so therefore I came back in my car because it's hot outside in the Chicagoland area. Plan on getting my food and getting back home up under my air condition. So I came in my car to sit down for a brief moment, back up under the air as they prepare my food, because I refuse to stay in a restaurant where there's no heat and a big fan is blowing that is not providing enough heat for me. But I wanted to say hello to you all. So like I said, you get to view this again later. But hi, how are you doing? Pray that all is well with you and your family and yours. Just want to come for a brief moment to share this with you real quick. As you continue to move forward in your life, I'm talking about just you, nobody else. Hi, Kenyatta, love you. As you move forward in your life, let's meditate and just think about you, just you for a moment. One thing you cannot do, I'm holding this by my hand, so if I do a lot of shaking, forgive me. One thing you cannot do is this: do not measure yourself against anyone else. Let me help you all with that. Do not measure yourself with anyone else. If God has given you a triangle, work in your triangle. If God has given you a square, work in your square. Don't worry about the shapes. Don't worry about the sizes that God has given anybody else. Be concerned with your shape and with your size that God gave you a parameter to work within. It's okay if he gave you a circle. Work in your circle, okay? Don't go looking over into another man's vineyard, desiring what they have, want to do what they do, because you may not be called to that. You may not be called to that. You have to learn to work in your shape, and you have to learn to work in your size. Work in your circle. Work in your triangle. Work in your square. Whatever measure that God has given you, be content with your measure. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. I thank God for giving me that early in my salvation. I don't judge my salvation by what you do. I don't judge my salvation about how high you are. I don't judge my salvation even how low you are. I try to work in the parameters that God has given me and work it. And work it to the best of my ability. I don't look over into somebody else's vineyard, into somebody else's ministry, into somebody else's life, desiring to be like any Joneses, desiring to be like any Smiths, because my last name is Lloyd. My last name is Lloyd. I'm trying to work what God has given to the Lloyds. Because what he's given to the Lloyds, he hasn't given to the Shepherds. He haven't given to the Pattersons. He haven't given to the Smiths or anything like that. I want to be fruitful. I want to be productive in what God has given to the Lloyds. You know, I did a Facebook post about don't compromise, because most of the time compromise is used as a negative word. And so I asked you all to do a compromise or a comparison concerning your life. Compared to last year to this year, where are you? How far have you? Have you measured? Have you reassessed? Have you reevaluated some things as it relates to you? It's all about you, nobody else, as it relates to you. And so therefore, you need to find out what's my niche? What's my venue? What is it that I'm supposed to do? I am not always I don't know how I put this. My mom, let me use my mom for an example. That's Apostle Sharon Peters. Let me use her for an example. Her niche Her venue is women's ministry. She's straight up good doing women's ministry. She don't try to do nothing else. She works in women's ministry. I have a spiritual sister. Her thing is about building queens. All right. Ain't that right, Kenyatta? It's about building queens. So her venue, her niche should be about daughters, about girls. It should be about queens, because kings can't become queens. And if that's the case, that's a whole nother problem on that another level. So that should be about girls. That should be about getting them ready to become queens, building them up about queens. That's dealing with women again. I don't have a niche just for women. I don't. As much as I love my sisters, as much as I'm willing to minister to my sisters, as much as I'm willing to talk and counsel and guide as far as women are concerned, what I truly believe that I'm called to do is both male and female. In addition to both being called to male and female, because I raise sons, and it seems like God give me more spiritual sons than he does daughters, I also believe my husband and I are called to marriages. We have been married for 31 years. We've learned some things. We've conquered some things. We survived some things. And so therefore, I'm content in what measure that God has given me. I don't compromise it. I love the Murphys. They're a beautiful marriage couple. Beautiful marriage ministry. Look them up. The Murphys. And they do an exceptional job with their measure. With their measure. So when my husband and I do marriage ministry, there's a certain thing that we are allowed to address, allowed to talk about, that God has graced us to talk about. And so therefore we're content with what we talk about. Most importantly, we know what we talk about as far as what we say to you all as it relates to marriage. I have a love, I told you, for men. God knows he has given me not a lustful love. Please understand me. Not a lustful love or a love of desiring them or anything like that. No. I have an agape love, an unconditional love, as it relates to, I have a Christ love as it relates to men in the kingdom. And so therefore, I love to see men become kings. I love to see kings be kings. I love men because God has given them a great responsibility. He has given them a great responsibility. And so therefore, watching my husband, watching my sons, watching my dad, watching my uncles, and watching different men in my life, I pray for them because they have a great responsibility. They have a lot on their shoulders as being men. And so God has allowed me to be able to do both men and women, and God has given me a whole lot of spiritual sons to help raise as kings, along with the king I have, which is George Lloyd, right? So therefore, I don't want you to ever, I'm just coming as a reminder, God does not ever want you to measure yourself against anyone else. Learn to measure what God wants you to measure. Work in your square. Work in your triangle. Work in your circle, sweetheart. Because if you work what you're supposed to work, it'll be fruitful. It will be productive. It will even bring wealth, even yet unto you, because you're working your vineyard. I was sharing with my husband, because out on our balcony view of our home, there's a field. There's a big field, nothing but green grass. There's a big field out there right in our view. And we were talking about measurement, about comparison and everything like that. And so I mentioned to him, I said, you see this big old field? This big old field that's out there in front of us, all that green grass. I said, all of that ain't your field. Look at it. All of it is not your field. As big and vast as it is, you may only have a little corner in that field. You might. Or you may have 3/4 of that, what's in that field. Depending on what God has graced you with. Or you may have half of that field. But whatever part of that field that you have and you have been assigned to, tend to your field. Tend to your field. Make it green. Make it prosperous. Make it fruitful. Make the soil good. Make it look good. Not that somebody else can desire it, but maybe if you work your field and you work it so well, your gift will make room for you. Because people will look at your field and they'll be like, now, how are you working that? What kind of soil are you using? What are you watering your grass with? What is you doing that is making this grow so well? It's not that I want your field. I just want to know what things that you are doing to make it successful. Then your gift will make room for you. All because you knew how to tend to what you were supposed to tend to. Not worrying about being nobody else. Only person I ever want to be is Monica. Because you know what? I do her real good. I do Monica Lloyd real good. And I know how to do Monica Lloyd with ease. I know how to do her. But when you work in your field and hey, when Monica doing Monica, some people going to want to know how you do that. How come people don't affect you so bad? How come you don't talk about haters? Why you don't worry about who don't like you? And Monica don't care. Monica's working her field. Monica's working her vineyard. Monica's working her portion. She's working her measure. She's working her measure. So therefore, she doesn't have to compare herself to nobody else. All she has to do is say, God, is this what you want me to do? Am I doing it well? How do you want me to perfect it? What do I need to correct? What do I need to reassess? What do I need to reevaluate? How you want me to do this? All in the midst of whatever he's graced me to do. All right? So I just wanted to come to you all real quickly and just tell you, stop comparing yourselves to other people. Admire what they do. Congratulate them on what they do. Celebrate them on what they do. But it's not guaranteed that you will be what they are. It is not a guarantee. So therefore, you have to work the grace, work the favor, work the measure that God has given unto you, and watch what you work make room for you. Watch what you work make room for you. And stop playing hopscotch. Stop playing hopscotch. Work in your field, jumping over there, trying to figure out what they're doing, and then jump back in your field and see if it'll work in your field. No. Stop playing hopscotch. Ain't no hopscotch in the kingdom. Ain't no hopscotch in the kingdom. Stay and work your field. Work your measure. Work your angle. All right? Because some of you got circles. Some of you got squares. Some of you got triangles. But whatever it is, God has graced you to do that. So therefore, stop comparing yourself to somebody else. Y'all need to say that. I will no longer compare myself with nobody else. Because you know what you're actually doing? You're comparing oranges to apples, bananas to prunes. In other words, you're not comparing yourself with yourself. You're comparing yourself with something that is not even of your vineyard. So stop doing that. And then you'll stop frustrating yourself. You'll stop getting upset. You'll stop getting mad with people. You'll stop worrying about what people else is doing. It will bring such a peace about you. And then you look, and then you don't have to worry about this when people come. You should be further along than you should. Maybe I should, or maybe I shouldn't. Long as I'm working what I'm supposed to work, and I'm content in what I'm working, and I believe God has given me this measure and my pace. Everybody has a different pace. God knows if me and my husband was to get out in the middle of the street or whatever and try to run, he will outrun me. He has a different pace. My pace is not his pace. God knows, because if I try to run his pace, I'm going to fall out. I'm just going to pass out. I'm not going to do it. My husband will tell you, this girl here ain't going to run for no bus. I am not going to run for a bus. Another one is coming. Another one is coming. I'm not running for no bus. I'm not going to get out of breath. I'm not going to work myself hard. I'm not going to do it. I will work, but I'm going to work smart. I'm not going to work hard. All right? I'm going to work my grace. I'm going to work my measure. I'm going to work what God has given me at the pace that he has given it to me. All right? So you all be blessed. Keep working. Keep moving. Keep striving. Don't worry about being big. If you're meant to be big, God going to make you big. All right? If you're small now, work what you have. Work what you have. Whatever God has placed in your hand now, work that. Because eventually it will be fruitful and it will multiply. God is a God of fruitfulness. Know that. God is a God of fruitfulness and multiplication. multiplication, excuse me. Fruitfulness and multiplication. He just needs to see if you will work what he placed in your hand. Remember the guys in Matthew, I believe, 25, talking about those talents? Work it. Don't go bury it just because you got one and you're not happy with your one. Baby, if you work your one, you'll be amazed at what it can multiply to. But you got to work that one. Work that measure. And then see if it can double, if it can triple, if it can quadruple. But you got to work that one. You got to go stop burying the one that you have. So if you have went and buried anything that God has given you, go dig it up. Go dig it up. Go dig it up and start all over with it and be fruitful in it. And watch God bless your measure. All because you're not comparing yourself to nobody. I love y'all. I'm going to get my food now. It should be ready. I'm going to get my food. It should be ready, and I'm going to eat because I'm hungry. And therefore, I love you all. I thank you for your time. And I just wanted to serve you a reminder. Don't compare yourself to nobody. Be the best you that you can be because God created you like that, all right? So work your grace, work your measure, work your circle, your square, your triangle. Work it because God is endeavoring to make you fruitful and to multiply you and make and bring and allow your gift to make room for you. I love you now. You all be blessed. And thank you all for tuning in. Bless you now. Bye-bye.